is AprilPvd. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, and share.
Over here!
Hey, you!
Greetings from the
What's
dunes,
up?
Zenithian.
Slayer.
The fallen empire greets you.
Ready to hunt. Yo! Over here! Let's get it. Get over here. Agent! Show me what Let's jam. Up for the
Greetings,
challenge.
Agent.
Good to see
Good
you,
to see
Zenithian.
you, cursed one.
Welcome to the Obsideian
Glad to have you
Fortress.
Come greet your elder. Come to visit. Learn any new tricks, Soul Slinger.
Hey, over
Let's
here.
get down to business.
You're the right agent.
Hello
for the
and
job.
welcome to Ctrl Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love virtual reality and playing many video games in virtual reality and virtual reality in general. I am AprilPvd and this is episode 798 entitled Beginning and Finishing Skyland. This is being recorded on Wednesday, June 7th, 2023, and what a week it's been. So instead of talking about my path to VR, this week I'm going to talk about the future of VR. And I'm going to play a little clip right now. AprilPvd. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, and share. Life is weird, and it's very hard. I think the problem that people are having with the Apple Vision is that they are seeing it from the point of view of the Quest. You can't. These are two entirely different things. I think what Apple is doing is what they've always done is go for the future. So this is a new computer. It's not actually. We want new VR headsets, which I don't know why, because the Quest is fine. I'm using one right now. It's fine. It works the way it's supposed to work. I think the problem people are having is that they're thinking of this as a computer, as a VR headset. It's not a VR headset. It is a new kind of computer, and it's a computer of the future. It's Minority Report before it got to the point where you could just touch and move things. I think that the biggest thing that we're going to find out is the same thing we found out about everything else that Apple has done. Remember when they took out the disk drive? Oh my goodness. People went crazy. Where are we going to stick our floppy disk? How can you do that? And look what happened. Nobody has floppy drives anymore. The same thing with your CDs. The new MacBook Pros don't have a CD drive. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Well, when's the last time you used a CD? I mean, when's the last time you worried that your computer didn't have a CD drive? I have a new PC. Well, I have a PC. I used it for like 2 months before I realized there was a CD DVD drive. So this isn't supposed to be a VR headset. This is the computer of the future. And they worked very hard to make it lightweight and comfortable and make it so that you don't have to worry about losing power because you have the battery pack, or you could just keep it plugged in and be comfortable and interact with people around you. I'm really excited for it. I don't know if I'll be able to afford one right away. I mean, it's next year. I'm already starting to save my money. I know where my income tax refund, if I get one, is going to be. So that's all I want. That's what I really wanted to get you to understand about this thing that's coming. It's going to be exciting. And in 5 years, everybody's going to have nice, comfortable headsets. The biggest thing that we have with the Quest is you really have to modify it to make it comfortable, and you have to get used to it. I really envy people I'm not envy. I worry about people who are coming into the VR playing field and not understanding what we've gone through before. I mean, I started off with the Rift and the PlayStation 1, and the headset I'm using now is so much more comfortable, so much better, but to make it more comfortable, I have to modify it. So what Apple is doing is game changing. That headset is game changing. It's comfortable, and everybody's going, oh, you have to keep a battery pack. You have to keep a battery pack. Well, that makes sense because you're going to be using it longer, and I'm just excited. And the naysayers, if you don't like it, it's not for you. I mean, I remember the iPhone when it came out. People were naysayers. Oh, it doesn't have buttons. How's it going to work? So Apple's doing what Apple does. And this is a headset, a computer for the future. It's not a VR rig. And then it doesn't even, you don't have to worry about controllers. That is game changing because controllers are a big problem. They're constantly malfunctioning. They're constantly getting drift. I have a friend now who can't play Zenith because his right controller broke. I have 7 different controllers. I have bought new controllers. And I think they're going to force the VR gaming companies to use gaming controllers. I wish that the games I played were more into gaming controllers instead of trying to use hand controllers, because I could be playing World of Warcraft in VR right now, but my muscle memory is not geared towards that. So anyways, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be amazing. I even think that the way they're bringing the keyboards in is going to make the whole gaming thing for flat screeners to be brought in so much easier. I hope I made sense. I needed to do this because I heard everybody fussing about it, but it's going to be good and it's going to be great. And in 5 years, we're going to go, what was the whole thing about? And the other thing I want to bring up with is that you cannot compare this to the Quest headset because Zuckerberg took a loss on the Quest. And even the PlayStation 1 was a big thing because you had to have the PlayStation. Then you had to have the sensor, and you didn't have the 360, so you had to buy everything had to be bought, and that was a big thing. And even now, half the time people are still buying high-end computers to go with their headsets. So this is gonna be game changing. We're gonna all eventually just have a computer on our head, embrace it. Well, everybody is up in arms about the new Apple Pro Vision, and that's the video I posted on my YouTube channel, which is obviously youtube.com/AprilPvd. And I don't want to repeat a lot of the things I already just said. It is a new computer. It's crazy. It's not going to be out until next year. And yes, it's $3,500. But it's an impressive piece of equipment. Since I recorded that video, I've been looking at some other things about it, and it's going to be incredible. One of the reviewers I saw on YouTube likened it to the Watch Zero, the Apple Watch, and how it has evolved. And when it first came out, it was something not for the masses, but now it seemed to be more approachable. So we'll see. I am not really that concerned about it, except that, I'm hoping to still be able to play World of Warcraft in VR. But, yeah, it was interesting. It In fact, the whole WWDC 23 was very wonderful. And that does bring me to memories. I used to go to Macworld. I've been to so many. There used to be 2 every year, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. And the one on the East Coast used to be in Boston for several years. And it was amazing. It was huge. It was in 2 different buildings. The Heinz Convention Center and the waterfront thing in Boston. One year, I ran into, speaking of Heinz, I ran into, with different spelling, I ran into Gregory Hines at the Boston Macworld. And I went up to him and I said, wow, not only are you a wonderful entertainer and brilliant dancer, but you also seem to have a good taste in computers. And at the time, I had my hair in braids, and then I would put beads on it, so I looked like some Egyptian. It was interesting, noisy, because I would turn my head and it would click, 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 click. And he said, "Oh, I love your hair," and I remember thinking how wonderful that was. There were a good amount of celebrity Mac early adopters. He was one. Douglas Adams was one. The author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And so after a few years, they stopped having the they moved to New York, and it was at the Javits Center. And I still went. The year I met my ex-husband was because I was debating whether I was going to go to that show, and he was working on Borders wearing a Mac t-shirt. He would later on go to work for Apple, which is funny. But anyways, and then once they stopped having on the East Coast, they just had them on the West Coast in San Francisco. And I took the train to San Francisco 4 times to see Macworld. It was always wonderful. One year, I actually went and had a tour of Second Life. I couldn't always make it to the keynote because it was a long trip on the train. It was 3.5 days, and I had to kind of balance the time and the time I took off from work and also the hotels. But the year I made it to the keynote, the performer, they used to have a really interesting performer at the end of the keynote every year. And it was Tony Bennett. So I got to see Steve Jobs. I got to see Tony Bennett sing I Left My Heart in San Francisco. I was there when they showed the first iPhone, and it was in a case, revolving in a curved case. We were all standing around it going, ooh and ah. So this was exciting for me. There's a lot of new things coming, not just the AR, VR headset, but also the software is changing. And one of the things I really liked is that they're going to have something called live voicemail, where you'll be able to see the voicemail being dictated if you decide not to pick up the phone. And that happens to me a lot, because I don't want to hear about somebody telling me my car warranty is expired or whatever. And so this will be kind of neat. If it's important, you can see it. And there's a few other neat things. So I was really excited to watch. I hadn't watched it in a while. I usually just waited until it was over and just read the news report. So this was very interesting, and I really enjoyed it. I've been an Apple addict for years and years. My sister had the first Mac, and after I've always been into computers, and the back then the PCs were all C:\\/ it was all text based, and the graphical user interface, the fact that you could see the files that were on your hard drive was just amazing. And every step of the way they knew what they were doing, and I'm excited. And I don't know if I'll be able to afford one by next year, but I am going to try, and it's going to be interesting. But let me get into my week, because my week has been exciting as well. I feel very fortunate and very healthy and very happy to be in the virtual reality world. I wonder what it's like for people who have no clue what VR is like. One of the other exciting things that happened for the Quest is that they did announce the Quest 3 last week, and they lowered the price for the Quest 2 back to its original price. So if anybody out there who isn't currently a virtual reality headset owner, this is a good time to get in. And if you have any questions, just contact me at Ctrl Alt WoW at gmail.com, and I would love to help you dive in and learn. It's an exciting experience. I don't know how I would have survived the pandemic without virtual reality. And now that I'm not drinking and socializing like I was, I feel like virtual reality has saved me, because I have so much fun in game and in other places, which I'm going to talk about at the end of this, after I do my week in Zenith. And it's really interesting and wonderful how you can interact with people online, virtually. And it's just so much more than just looking at a flat screen game. So let's start with last Wednesday and what I did. I farmed Skyseeds on my Mage. I want to feed the mountain Pylon. I did some crafting, and I caught my 10th Twilight Jellypuff so I could go and turn in that quest with Blake. I have been collecting a lot of stuff and a lot of farming, and I'm finally at the point where I don't feel like I need to be stingy with my nuggets. You get these constructor nuggets that can be used for so many things in Skyland, and now that I've bought my 5th room, my 6th, I think it's the 6th room. Now that I bought my complete apartment, I can relax. So I also did cardio. I have gotten to a point where I'm stalling in my weight loss. When I initially stopped drinking, sometimes I feel weird talking about this whole thing with drinking, and I was listening to a YouTube video about people who claim that sometimes their friends and partners say that they talk about being sober too much. And it occurred to me that people talk about drinking. In fact, I was looking on some memories on my Facebook, and there were multiple days when I would say, I am drunk. So people talk about being drunk all the time. So I will talk about being sober and how it is enriching my life and changing my life and changing the focus of my life. Because I'm no longer living for that habit of having that next shot of tequila. So on Wednesday, one of the things, I know what I was saying, because I can remember what I was saying. I started my sober journey not because of anything else, but mostly because I couldn't lose weight. I was doing my 10,000 steps, and I was doing everything, and I thought, okay, well, let's see what happens if I stop drinking. And I very quickly lost 5 pounds and then 10 pounds. and then it stalled, and I'm like, what is going on? So I decided, and it's only been 3 months, so 10 pounds in 3 months. It's actually very healthy. So I decided I need to add cardio to my workout. So I've been doing Holofit, and I've been pushing myself with cardio training. They have several cardio exercising things, and this time I was doing something called intervals, where you go up and you reach the peak for a couple of minutes and then you go back down, and I did great on that. I even did a video on it, and I'll put a link in the show notes. I did it. Pause. So if you get to 4.5, yeah, it stops. This has been the best I've done. Well, not my best. My best total time, 55. My best maximum speed was 16.6. Oh, but I did my best average. And this is the chart that shows you that I was keeping up, and I didn't realize that the little orange thing had to go along the white line. I thought I was doing pretty good, but it looks like my top speed when I get up to the top is supposed to be 11, and my low speed should be 9, but I think I would, yeah, as you can see, I was down to 7, 9, 7, and 8, 9. So this was one of my best ones. 5 miles. Expected average speed. I didn't do badly. Alright. That's enough for me. On Thursday, I decided that my Ninja AprilPvd right bracket needed to expand her horizon. Yes, Skyland is great, but two things were happening. One is that I can't seem to move forward in Skyland on her. She was 34 now, and she didn't have the mountain pylon, and she didn't have any the blue gear. You know, she could make common and uncommon gear, but she couldn't make anything better than that. And while she was going up the agent rank, getting godstones, getting some gear from that, she was still stalling on being able to go forward on the mountain pylon quest. So I took her out, and I decided to open up the Forsaken Reliquary. You know what I mean. It's an instance in the Obsideian Fortress, and it's really level, I think it's level 20 something, and she's 34. Of course, I'm not very good with the ninja. I'm learning a lot of things, like you have to pay attention to that light on the arrow. And one of the things I learned, thanks to Murdio, shout out to Murdio, his controller broke, so he hasn't been able to play. I really miss him. He's really a fount of information. But he told me that you can change your arrow, and someone else told me to try a different arrow using your godstones. It's all very confusing, but when you focus on it, you look and you read, you really start to understand the Cyber Ninja. And of course, as she's leveling, she's getting stronger, and I was upgrading her gear, and that's another thing I learned that was driving me crazy. Your stats in Skyland are going to be static, and they will change when you go to different areas, which is really interesting. But so she got the quest from Finch. Now the problem is I don't have the fast travel points to some of these places because I'm not going through and doing the specific quests that open up that. So I really need to it just takes a little bit of time to travel. Going to Obsideian Fortress meant I did go to Amorite Forest, and I got the faster travel point there. And then I had to go all the way through Scarlet Vale and Sporewood without the travel points. But the good thing is, while I was traveling through there, I did get some teardrops. So that's always good, because the more tears you get, not teardrops, tears, Amari's tears, you get, the more your stamina will grow. So, and I made it through there. I was also looking at the gear and thinking, oh, do I want to try to collect the additional currency for this particular area to upgrade my gear? But it was all in like 18s and 20s. Even Obsideian Fortress, I think the highest gear was 22. So I was thinking, with my other tunes though, I didn't bother because I had done so many leveling roulettes that I had enough Marks of Ancients to buy the whole set without when I got to 38. So I got through to the Forsaken Reliquary, and I unlocked that instance, which means that now I can do the dungeon from anywhere in the world, and that was fun. When you do it to unlock it, you're doing it when it's not an instance, and at first it was really hard because I have to keep firing those arrows, and I'm getting better at it, and I can actually feel my left arm getting stronger. But I was still having a tiny bit of difficulty, and somebody else showed up, which is nice because it's open. It's not like an instance. And I was so relieved because I wasn't sure how I would be able to take down the boss. I can do a lot of maneuvering, and one of the things that the Cyber Ninja has is its sprint, which does give it back some health. So that really helped that somebody showed up to help. And I always sing, and then a hero comes along. So I finished that. And then on Friday, I joined the United Zenithian Alliance, or UZA. Oh, I should put a link in the show notes to their Discord, because they are amazing at organizing events. And they did a Skyland event where we just ran around, did a whole bunch of events that gave Sky Dew and Skyseeds, which I was grateful for because I need both of those to feed the mountain pylon.
I hope not.
Because you know the housing?
Because it doesn't agree with it.
Yeah. You know the housing has like the speed boost, the movement speed boost? You can just explore those and also do it.
So how do you delete and remove some? Because I got another one for speed, but I can't remove the other one.
You go into housing and then you just point at it. I don't know what the keybind is exactly. Depends on which controller you're on.
But the most important thing is the person who put it there, the character who put it there has to be the character to remove it. So if you put it there with one
people
character,
can build in your house?
But then you can't see your
no, you can have
like
you
if
can have
you have
multiple.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I have
I didn't know
multiple.
that. Interesting.
Yeah. And I found it easier to grab it with the hand. If you select the hand tool.
And then you hit down, right?
Right.
Yeah,
But you have
It still won't delete, so I wonder if I'm just in the wrong character.
or the wrong character, or maybe you locked
If I
it.
could add the facial hair, that'd be awesome.
Oh, I don't know how to do
You
that.
kind of have facial hair
I'm gonna
right
do it
now.
on
Let's
purpose.
pretend there's not a strap and that's not teeth. That's actually hair. You just have a
And
really
then what's
jagged
neat
hair.
is it goes back into the inventory of
can't
your
see
apartment.
Anybody? I can see only 3 people.
Oh no.
I got the strap.
Okay, so Lala's right here.
Yeah, I see Lala.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
Jackie
not
was behind us,
Alright,
but she's
so we
since
can probably
disappeared.
3 balls.
start.
Yeah.
Oh, almost seven.
We ended up spending, I think, the last 45 minutes doing the one up on the hill where you have to knock out those two what do you call them? They're two like not spears, but triangles, and it's really good for Skyseeds, and it's really quick events. We did do a lot of the drilling events, and we did a couple of the Ascensions ones, which gives you Sky Dew. And we did the one down by the camp, by the burning ship. And then we did the one over in the forest where it's multi-level and you end up doing the jiggly trucks. So that was fun. And they were a good group of people. And interesting enough, someone else had the desire to, the need to do the give the dirt. It's one of Brim's quests, and it says give dirt to the planter by the garden. And I couldn't figure that out. And she's like, I can't figure this out either. Where am I supposed to get the dirt? It looks like I gave some dirt. I ended up figuring that out. And it was very, very weird because it wasn't really dirt you're giving at all. It's constructor nuggets. And if you go in and the building, it's anything. I think even if you give wood, it's considered contributing. And I think it's a philanthropic. But this one specifically said give dirt. So if you have that quest, you can't figure it out, go put some nuggets on the planter. And I have to hang my head in shame because in the past, when I have done anything on the planter, I have lorded over the planters. This is my planter, and I put in the nuggets. It's supposed to be a community thing. But here's the thing. If it is community, it's also on a timer. So you don't want to just go dump a bunch of nuggets and fertilizer onto it and then go away, because the plants will just after 5 minutes disappear. So, if somebody's there looking for plants, it's supposed to be a sharing community thing. But don't let it go to waste. Well, if you want, but I wouldn't let it go to waste. I actually went ahead and started making cabbage because I didn't have any cabbage. And I looked at my inventory and I'm low on peppers. So next time I'm going to go and get peppers. And they've changed the mechanics so that you can reach and pull it to you. Before, you had to actually go down and grab it and pull it to you. And half the time I would end up pulling out one of my creature balls and wasting it, which was so frustrating when I was trying to get that 2 million. Now that I got that 2 million, life is a breeze because I don't have to worry about money anymore. Of course, something's going to come along. I bet you when they open up the second half of Skyland that there's going to be things that you can make for your house that's going to need money. So we spent about 2.5 hours racing around Skyland in a group. They usually specify Radiant as the shard to go on, so we're not blocking other people. But it was so much fun, and I really enjoyed the conversation, and the people were amazing. And then the organizer, his name is Z. I forget his actual name. I should probably go and look at my screenshots to tell you, but he invited us back to his apartment, and it is amazing. And when I say amazing, I'm using the word maze. He built a maze. His mind, I just want to see his brain, because his mind, no, I don't want to see his brain. I used to. I just imagine him. I can't imagine the way he thought this through. So when you come in, when you actually zone in, it's not just walking in. You actually have this whole complicated thing that you have to get through, and then there's a glass maze to get through. And he's done some interesting things, and he blew my mind with the way he manipulated some of the building materials, and I got some ideas, which I will be working on next week or this week, and I'll probably do a YouTube video about it. So it's amazing what people's minds can do. And after that, I did some dungeons. I was trying to level because I didn't have the blue gear and I didn't have the mountain pylon quest, and I thought it was because I wasn't at the right level. I tried to ask some people who were my level or below if they had the blueprints for the blue gear, the rare one, and I don't think they understood what I was asking. So I decided to run some dungeons. I ran Seething Depths because I just could not bring myself to run Outlaw Grove. I did run Outlaw Grove once this week, but it was just somebody approached me and they didn't know where to kill Kato, so I helped them. But yeah, the whole going up in the air thing is really starting to I don't know why it's such a thing for me. I really need to get over that. I did go to jump off I've been able to do some of the jumping off in Skyland, so I'm getting better. And I have no problem jumping off in regular Zenith, but I think it's because the graphics aren't as sharp as they are in Skyland. So I ended up going to the Radiant Coast, and I got the faster travel point, and then I quested in TurtleTop, and I got to level 35. I stopped at the Hammerhead quest because I don't think I could take him out by myself as a cyber ninja, or as I was on that day. On Saturday, I realized that my cyber ninja AprilPvd right bracket was not in my guild because I have my own private guild, and the only way you can't invite your own characters to your guild. You could invite someone else to your guild and then have them invite your other characters. But the only person I have in my guild that isn't me is someone named Psychoactive, and I don't even know if they're active anymore. I haven't seen them on. But I do have 2 accounts. I have a Steam account and an Oculus account. So I switched over my Steam to my Steam account, and then I put on my headset for my Oculus account, and I have 2 headsets. So that's the only way you can actually do that. And I put a link in the show notes to the video of me multi-boxing in Zenith. Of course, it's not like multi-boxing in World of Warcraft. I used to have 2 or 3 toons running around at the same time in World of Warcraft. But yeah, I was able to invite AprilPvd right bracket, or my cyber ninja, into the Clan of Darkness. Then I did some questing in Amorite Forest, and I ran into someone who hadn't done the creature collecting quest, and they were also looking for Amara's statue, so I ran them over to Blake and showed them how to do the creature, how to collect. We did, 1 caterpillar, 1 fairy fly, opened up the menu, showed them how to tell how many of each you need to collect before you can summon them. If it's tier 1, then you can do it in 15. That's the fairy fly. Tier 2 is 50, and tier 3 means 150. So that was fun. I also ran into someone in Skyland, and he wasn't a ninja though. He was a mage. But I hear that 50% of people will go to Skyland. And he asked me, how do I exit? How do I exit the tutorial? And I was like, what are you talking about? So he must have thought Skyland was a tutorial. And so I took him over to the portal on the ship. And then once I got out of the ship, once we got to the bridge, which is where you end up, I showed him how to get the creature collector on the agent rank screen and how to use the agent rank. And then I showed him where Raskin is, even though I can't see Raskin there anymore. And he said thanks. So I always feel kind of sad and guilty. And I mean, I can't guide you but so far. And there's a lot you have to ask yourself and figure out. But for me, that's part of the excitement because, again, I was 36 by this time, and I still didn't have the Mountain Pylon quest. But I was collecting Skyseeds, and I had gotten my crafting up to 2 stars, which was 20, and then I actually ended up getting it up to 50 by the end of the week, and still I didn't get the 3-star level, so they must have raised that bar too. So I think it's now 70. So I was like, no, I'm not going to worry about that. So I got some more tiers. There's a tier on the hill by the burning ship. I didn't know about that one. And but I did solve one mystery. That was the soiled food quest. That's the one where you have to go and take the dirt. It's like the philanthropic one, but it's just giving nuggets. All right, on Sunday, I worked on my apartment, and I mostly worked on it to learn how to rotate the windows. So I'm going to put windows on my ceiling because I have some ideas. But I want to do the mountain pylon. I want to get my Cyber Ninja to a good space. So I finally figured out the problem on Monday. It was something called technical, TEKNICAL difficulties. And I wondered about it because it is over there on, where the bridge is and you have to fly over. And there are some tech people. There's one tech guy and one of the tech chicks that heal them. And there's also a chest, and I think there's a node, an ore node. But the problem was I hadn't clicked on my the difficulties. There was a quest called Technical Difficulties, and it's under main story, which I didn't realize. A lot of the things that move the story forward is under main stories. A lot of the faster travel points quests are under that. So I clicked on that. I went over there. I fought some people over there. And then I went back to the guy on the mountaintop, and he gave me a quest to go talk to somebody. Talk to somebody back at the main base. And then they finally said, they sent me back to Mika, and Mika said, we're having problems up on the mountain. Can you go up there? And I was like, hallelujah. So I managed to go up there and get that quest done. Fighting a lot of. I had to fight a couple of those big guys that swing and put out that wall, which you have to be careful because that wall can kill you very easily. And I made it up there and I got it, and I had 100 and something seeds, but not quite enough to do both. And even when I realized I wasn't going to get that 3rd star, I went ahead and manufactured it. I went ahead and farmed. I did quests. I chopped down glinting wood trees and glinting ore nodes, or mined glinting ore nodes. And then I did the drilling quest will give you 4 Skyseeds. And I managed to get it on my Cyber Ninja. So ironically, I've done it on her before I finished it on my Mage. So I've been running my Mage through the same things to try to get enough. She didn't have enough seeds, and she only has 1 star on her crafting. And somewhere along I know, when I did the soil thing, I got the blueprints to do the blue gear, so that was nice. I mean, I finally hit 40 as well. Well, I hit 38 towards the end of the week, and I was able to wear my level 42 Mark of Ancients helm. Although I hated taking off the green helm or uncommon helm that I had gotten from Seething Depths, which made me look like a pirate. Had a little 4-corner hat thingy, the little pointy things. I should put a picture in the show notes. But yeah, I hit 40 and I figured out the blue gear, and I managed to make enough blue gear to cover everything that wasn't. Except for the hat, and I got a boost in abilities, so that was kind of neat. And yeah, it was a really good week. It was really confusing, and I had to jump over that bridge to get to the other side, but it was scary, but it was worth it. And yeah, my week in Zenith was great. I didn't take out my Blade Master much. I think, I did take it out. No. Yeah, I did take it out to run somebody through Outlaw Grove. But other than that, my AprilPvd asterisk has been on the wayside. So it's been a really, really good week. And the other thing I did, and if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see my video on the Apple Pro Vision, and I found this incredible program called Flipside Studio, and it lets you create characters that you can then use in it lets you import characters. So you start off going to Ready Player Me. You can make a character that looks like you. You can make it personalize it to your specifications, and then you can put it in these interactions that you end up with this virtual reality studio, movie set, whatever. So look forward to the next weeks of me really learning how to make this program work. And it's really interesting because you can record different parts. You can become one character and then change over to the other character and then mix the two scenes together. And the fact that it's free is amazing. And I think downloaded it from App Lab or SideQuest. I have to look into that. But it's really neat and it has so much potential. I'm also doing a lot of Haladia because I want to exercise, and doing pretty good today. Doing pretty good this week, and I'm looking forward to next week. I mean, this week. In fact, right now, I can't wait to get this out so I can go back into Zenith. The fact that I figured out the mountain pylon and the soil thing just makes me so happy and so relieved. So thank you for listening. And my virtual reality is wonderful. I'm glad I can share it with you. And I hope your reality is good wherever you are. See you next week.
Till next time, agents.
See ya. Later. You headed out?
Come back again soon. Don't be a stranger, dear. Visit again soon.
The dunes bury all.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow, and share.